So, this is Coach Nachi, and I am your personal and professional development coach called to help, or rather assist you in living more like you. I believe that we were intended to live more joyfully, fully human, and feeling at home in ourselves and our lives overall. Today, as you can read, what we're going to be talking about, what I'm going to be getting into, is what your reputation is with you. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I know you're going to know what I'm talking about. Where are you now in your goals? Where are you now in your dreams? Where are you now in that thing that you told yourself you would do that one time? To be more pointed, where are you at now with your New Year's resolution? Where are you at now with what you told yourself you would do entering into your new year? Where are you at now with what you said you would do beginning of October? Where are you at now with your body honor? See, where our reputation with ourselves is something that we take for granted. We take our reputation with ourselves for granted. So how is that going for you? Are all those goals, those dreams, those wishes that you had for yourself, how are they going? I'm asking honestly, how are they going? What progress have you made so far? If it's difficult to answer those questions, or if you're, pause this if you're on the replay and answer those questions for yourself. If you're here live and it's difficult to answer those questions, I'm going to say, did you define what progress even looks like for you? When I was talking about body honor and having you choose one thing, we talked about having something at the end of October, right? So, and I made sure to say, make sure it's something specific. Now, I'm sure when you're thinking about what progress you've made so far, it's difficult to even come up with what progress you have made so far, because guess what? You probably didn't map out what progress looks like in this area. Okay, so you say for body honor, I'm going to say nicer things to myself. Well, how are you mapping out that you're making progress in that area? If for body honor you said, I want to be fit, I want to do more things to be fit, how are you mapping that progress? So even when it comes to setting up your goals and dreams and whatever it is that you want, if you don't know what progress looks like in that specific area, you will be doing this thing that I talk about in my 5 highly effective questions where you're chasing your tail. If you don't know what it looks like to have progress, how will you know that you're progressing? How will you know? Sometimes you will just feel it, but that feeling will be triggered by certain things. So how will you know that you're achieving progress? Think about that. So I want you to really think about what progress looks like to you. But I want to go back to the main question of the session today, which is your reputation. What is your reputation with yourself? Oftentimes, we expect people to do certain things for us. True, we expect them to do certain things for us. And when they don't meet our standards, we feel you could have done better, we feel salty, we feel, all these things. But let me ask you this. Let's flip the script. If someone had promised to do something for you that you have promised to do for yourself, and they did it in the way that you're doing it for you, would you be happy with that result? Would you be happy with how they're going about doing that thing, whatever that thing is? Tap that screen if you hear me. Tap that screen if you hear me. Because we often do not think of our reputation with ourselves in this way. Flip it. You told yourself you wanted to do something for yourself, correct? So if someone had said, I'm going to do this thing for you, yeah? And they did it in the way that you're doing it for yourself, with the commitment level, with the oomph, with the motivation, with the focus, with the XYZ, that you're doing it for you, how would you feel? Would you be satisfied? Would you be happy? Would you feel that you're on the road to progress? Would you feel that you're on your way to making sure you're doing that thing? You know what I'm saying? I got a little mixed up in the last sentence, but you know what I'm saying. So if you flip the script and you don't like what you are doing for yourself, if someone else is to do it to you, what does that say about your reputation to you with yourself? What does that say about your reputation overall? So think about what your reputation is with yourself, because reputation is important. There are people in our lives that have let us down. There are moments in our lives where we can remember when we lost faith in this person, when we lost trust in this person. They don't keep their word. They don't keep their appointments. They flake. They do all these things. Guess what? Most of the times, we are that person to ourselves. And yet, we don't realize it. So let me ask, are you someone who you trust with you? That's basically me asking, what is your reputation with yourself? Are you someone who you would trust with you? Do you trust yourself with you? And if that answer is a no, if that answer is sometimes, if that answer isn't hell yes, I am me, I go for it, you really have to think about what you need to do to regain that trust. What you need to do to regain that trust for yourself, to yourself. Does that make sense? Please tap that screen if you hear me. So, on the road to living more like you, your reputation is important. Your reputation to yourself is incredibly important, because it doesn't make sense for you to trust somebody who you don't trust. You won't trust them. That's what's going to happen. You're going to make goals for yourself. You're going to set dreams. You're going to set, I'm going to do this thing for myself, but you don't trust yourself. So you're not going to meet you're not going to meet these deadlines. You're not going to meet these goals. You're just not going to do it because you don't trust yourself. You gave a task, an important task, to someone you don't trust. You're not going to give a baby to someone you don't trust. You're going to vet this person. You're going to vet them hard. So how are you going to give your most important, what's in you, your gifts, your resources, your talents? You're not going to trust these gems with someone you don't trust. If you don't trust yourself, when you tell yourself you're going to do these things, are you really going to do them? Are you really going to do them to the level that you need them to be done for you to say, yes, that's exactly what I want? Are you hearing me? Tap that screen if you are hearing me. I need to know that you are getting this message. I want you to truly, truly, truly think about what your reputation is with yourself. Are you doing the things for yourself that you would expect other people to do for you? Are you your ride or die person? Are you your number one person? Are you fulfilling what you have said you wanted to do for yourself? Let's anchor this in body honor. This is Body Honor October. I introduced it a couple periscopes ago. Are you honoring your body in the way that you would want other people to honor your body? Are you honoring your body in the specific way that you said a couple days ago? Are you doing it to the fullest of your ability? Are you doing it in the way that if someone did it for you, you'd be like, oh my gosh, wow, this person really honors my body? Are you doing that? Whatever the case may be. So I chose carb cycling. Is it difficult? Yeah. Is it fun? Yeah, it is actually. It's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. But it's still a little bit difficult. But guess what? I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. This is something that I'm really interested in doing. Is my schedule kind of getting in the way and clashing? Yeah. But guess what? I am building my reputation with myself the more times that I commit to myself. The more times I say, you know what? I'm going to choose this over this. And it's baby steps. I'm not telling you to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in one day. I'm not telling you to climb Mount Kilimanjaro just like that. No, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro takes a certain set of skills. You have to break that thing down. It's the same exact way. You won't gain body honor and full acceptance and for whatever goal that it is that you're working on. It's not going to be overnight, but it kind of will, in that once you make that decision for yourself, once you make that commitment to you, you are halfway there, my friend. You are halfway there. I talked about 6 keys to any type of goal. I talked about, with health specifically, where there's your intake, the food you're eating, and your output, the exercise or how you're expending energy. Then I also talked about mindset. The other 4, mindset is one of them, is I keep close to me. Those are the ones that I really go into with my clients, because if I just said them, they wouldn't make, you'd just like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. No, not the way I explain it. Simple. Maybe that's me tooting my horn, but I know what I'm doing. In any case, your mindset is important. So if you don't trust yourself, if you don't have a good reputation with you, I don't see how you can ever trust yourself with a gem. Like your dreams are important. You're not going to trust yourself with that last candle, that light. No, you're not going to. But the wonderful thing about us human beings is we still do. Henry Ford said, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. You can't. You build a reputation by meeting those deadlines, by meeting those appointments, by doing what you said you would do to other people, and guess what? It works the same exact way with yourself. If you commit to yourself and you say, you know what? I'm going to stop eating at 8. You know what? I'm going to do an hour of exercise a day. You know what? I'm going to dance. You know what? I'm going to give myself a hug in the morning. You know what? I'm going to, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to do for yourself, and you do it, baby, man, you're building that reputation with yourself. You're showing yourself this honor, this care, and you will be unable to accept less. If you can do it for yourself, truly, it's incredibly true. You will be able to ask for even, your standard will be raised on how others treat you. I remember my hair, I have natural hair, and years ago, truly, I was still getting used to my hair and how it looks and XYZ, and other people around me were like, oh, your hair looks really nice, looks really good. And I would say, and this was right before I'd said, oh man, this hair looks horrible, like I didn't style it right, I need to get better at this. And yet I step out of the bathroom and people are like, oh, your hair looks nice, wow, I like what you did there. I didn't like that, because what that said was I wasn't able to see in myself what others were seeing in me. And if I don't see it in myself, it doesn't matter. It's nice. It's good to know that people around me are seeing the light I have, seeing the beauty that I have. That's amazing. But if I don't see it, tap that screen if you are getting me. If I don't see it for myself, everybody in the world could be telling me. But if I don't see it for myself, I will always have that scene in the bathroom where I'm like, oh, no. And I'll be accepting pennies. I'll be accepting nothing. Even if people are willing to give me more, I'll say, no, I'll take less. Do you get what I'm saying? I use that hair example. That's also part of a body honor example. A lot of women are going through things with their hair, especially in the Afro textured hair community. But, I lost my point. Let me get back to the Henry Ford quote. Henry Ford said, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. Simple, and we all know this. Building a reputation is not the easiest thing to do, but it is pretty straightforward. There is a certain pattern to it. Just meet your appointments. Do what you said you were going to do. Period. And it's difficult when it comes to ourselves, because we cut ourselves so much slack that we eventually don't even trust ourselves with any sort of anything. So I want to say, put yourself on that list, and if you put yourself on that list, make that list happen. Do that thing for yourself. Build your reputation with yourself. Simple. I have 5 highly effective questions for extreme motivation, focus, and finding your why. And these questions, are so good at helping you figure out what you need to do to move forward, what you need to do to know what progress is for you. I'm all about living like you, right? That's what my business is called. That's what my practice is called. Live like you now. It's all about you. And when you're your best self, you can serve people so much better. So, these questions really help you define what your standards are, what you recognize as progress, okay? What you recognize as success, what you recognize as body honor, what you recognize as what you recognize as what you recognize, period. The questions are super effective, and there's one particular question. Oh, man. Actually, most of them. I will say there's a couple of questions on there that help you tackle you chasing your own tail. Because how will you know that you're progressing, right? Sometimes we have surpassed our goal, and I share a very true experience. Excuse the phone ringing in the background. I share a true experience of my life where one of the questions, it moved me, and it's the question that I have to share with anybody that comes across my path. That's a question in the 5 highly effective questions. Go to livelikeyounow.com, get the free gift, extreme motivation focus, the email list, because it's a lot of content in that it moves so much in your head. It raises a lot of awareness. And while I give you the questions as soon as you sign up, you get the questions. You look at the questions and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. No, no. Wait till you get the first email that tells you how to use these questions, that tells you how to address these questions within yourself. And they are amazing. I wrote them and I did my research on them and I have used them. My clients have benefited from these questions. And I will go back every so often, maybe every once a month, to make sure that the questions are serving you, to make sure that the questions are really addressing what they need to address and what I want them to address in a bite-sized form, but in a form that you get a lot of value from. I wrote these questions. I did the research on these questions. I swam in these questions. I am very intimate with these questions. Every single time that I go over these questions, I am moved. I am moved. I am moved. They're so powerful. They're incredibly highly effective. And I want everybody in the world to have these questions, but I cannot force people to have these questions. So head over to livelikeyounow.com, livelikeyounow.com. Get yourself these questions. Get yourself on this list. The questions get sent out at once. There's something you can download to get the questions all at once, so that you are familiar with the questions. And then you'll start getting an email for each question, because they each need to be addressed individually. These questions will help along the path to defining what living like you means. Sometimes we really don't know. I was talking about noise the other day. We really don't know what our own voice sounds like. This is going to be super helpful. Also, they'll talk about how to define progress, success, and what these things mean to you. They mean something different. You and me, they mean completely different things. Also, they'll help you with extreme motivation and focus and rooted in finding your why. Once you know your why, once you find your why, you find your way, period. They'll also help you in figuring out what your reputation is for yourself. If you need help applying these questions, don't feel shy. Don't feel shy about contacting me. It's what I'm there for. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Coach Nachi at livelikeyounow.com is my email. But definitely head over to livelikeyounow.com and get yourself these questions, because I'm not really sure I want them to be available next year. They're really kind of too good for an entry level introduction. I'm trying to format them in a way that I'm not giving too much to overwhelm. I don't think I am, to be honest with you, but I believe next year I'm going to be offering something completely different. So you want to be on it now, because once the webinar for these questions and applying them training is set up, it's not going to be advertised to the public first. It's going to be given to the list first, because they get dibs. They've had experience with the questions, and they'll be able to ask questions that are pertinent to them having already done the work, and we can get so much more done. I love when my clients have already done some work and we can really get into the meat and bones of what it is that they specifically want. I love serving people, and I love being able to do it for them at that deeper level. So I'm going to end here. And the last thing I'm going to say is, are you meeting your own expectations? Are you meeting your own expectations? Knowing what you know now about your reputation, what will you do to make it even better? Right? What will you be doing to make your reputation better? What will you be doing to make sure that you're living up to the standard that you have for others, for yourself? What will you be doing for you? How will you be living like you when it comes to your reputation for yourself? Whew, that was a long one. I will talk to you tomorrow. Same time, same place, between 12 and 2. Make sure to follow so you don't miss the scope. I don't have a set time, but it is between 12 and 2. I try to do my best to do it between those times. Okay, see you at livelikeyounow.com, and follow on Periscope for the live scopes.